Hey, it's Bridget from Master App. I just want to talk about a really amazing middle school parent-teacher conference structure that the most amazing teachers in the world taught me when I was on a wonderful middle school team. We work together as a team to prepare for these conferences so that the student leads with feedback from the entire team guiding the discussion with their parent. As far as the preparation ahead of time, the student part is quick and easy. The kids are really good at this. They're honest. They love evaluating themselves. They're often harder on themselves than we are as far as the evaluation. They're really straightforward. They do it in just 10 minutes during homeroom, anytime you can fit it in. But as a group of teachers, it's hard to find that time to get together. So we try and sit down at lunchtime, and we will get through like 20 a day and just plow through them. It gets quicker as you go, and it's really worth it.
So for preparing before the conference, you have the teacher conference form and then the matching student conference form. And the students can fill theirs out. They usually only take about 10 minutes. You can do that during homeroom time. And they just do their quick self-assessment and decide for each category how they think they fall for the past quarter. And then at the bottom, they just set goals for the next quarter. The teachers get together, all the teachers who have that same student, and do the same thing. And you can get through these fairly quickly, but it does take time. It's definitely worth it. There are a lot of benefits to this. And the teachers are going to work together to check the boxes for each student. So you would say, okay, well, yeah, pretty organized. And usually it's quick all around. Oh, yeah, top few in the class, he's very organized. Oh, he completes his homework. And if there's any discrepancy, the science teacher can be like, oh, in my class, he never does homework. Put a check mark there and write, like, just in science if everyone else disagrees. And otherwise, pretty good. And you go through the list, and most of the time it's pretty similar in all the class periods. And then at the end, work together to write what you're most proud of for that student and a couple goals for the next quarter. All the teachers can sign in the corner.
So with this method, during the conference, one teacher is going to represent the entire team and kind of share what we talked about during the team quick conferences. So each student is going to guide the whole process. They pull out their form, and then I pull out the teacher form, and the child actually sits and compares and goes over it with their parent and shares their insight. And then I can just jump in and share a little bit at a time, but the student and the forms really guide the entire process.
Get to the conference, you pull out the form the student completed themselves, and then also the teacher form. And you just kind of say to the child, well, why don't you go over this with your parent, and let's talk about what everyone agrees on and what your teachers might not think is the same as what you thought. So here, Allie would say, well, my weakest I thought were leadership and participation. And then she would notice, my teachers kind of thought the same thing, but rated me higher. Almost always the students are harder on themselves than the teacher is, and the group of teachers. So then I would kind of jump in here and explain, we noticed that during group work, a lot of us kind of pointed out that we have noticed you starting to become more of a leader, give a specific example the other day when your group was starting, something like that. And then explain any other things that you want to go over. And the student kind of goes through this and leads the whole conference with their parent. Then they explain their own goals and what they're most proud of. And if anything doesn't match up, as the teacher, you can kind of share why the teachers got together and what each teacher said. That, we're really proud of you. We want you to participate a little more, especially in science. The science teacher maybe had mentioned during our little conference that you needed a little help, and just work on keeping on task, because just once in a while you've been chatting with your partners when you're with a certain group. And then you can share any comments or questions from the teacher and try and let the student guide it from there.
What our team really loved about this method is the students accountable to themselves and to the teachers and to their parents, and they have to lead the conversation and be a little bit responsible. Also, even those students that usually have a very quiet conference, like, oh, there's no problem, not much to say, they still deserve to hear all the feedback and to set their own goals. So this method allows for everyone's strengths and weaknesses to be analyzed, even if there aren't any real big problems. Thank you so much. Make sure you grab the free download of these documents, and I hope this procedure works as well for you and your conferences as it did for my team.